हॅलो मित्रो, या व्हिडिओच्या माध्यमातून मी परत आपणास भेटत आहे. गेल्या व्हिडिओमध्ये आपण मॅक्रल फिशरी पार्ट फर्स्ट पाहिलेले आहेत. मी पूर्वीच सांगितलेलं आहे की ज्या फिशरी आहेत चार आपल्या मॅक्रल फिशरी, सार्डाइन फिशरी, बॉम्बे डक फिशरी अँड प्रॉन फिशरी. These are very major fishery, very large fisheries, and it is not easy to possible to cover complete in a single video. At least to complete one fishery require 1.5 hours. Therefore, I have decided one fishery divided into two parts. म्हणून पहिल्या पार्टमध्ये मी मॅक्रल फिशरीचा काही भाग तुम्हाला मी शिकवला आहे. आज रिमेनिंग पार्ट ऑफ दॅट मॅक्रल फिशरी आपण ह्या व्हिडिओमध्ये पाहणार आहोत. मला खात्री आहे पूर्वीचा व्हिडिओ तुम्ही पाहिला असेल. बरेच जणांनी सबस्क्राईब केलेले आहेत, लाईक केलेले आहेत. तुम्हाला पहिला व्हिडिओ आवडला म्हणून तुम्ही लाईक केलात. तो समजला कितपत हा प्रश्न आहे. तुम्ही समजला का नाही याचं एक्सप्लेनेशन किंवा कॉमेंट्स मला तुम्ही व्हॉट्सॲप किंवा आपल्या गुगल क्लासरूमवर दिलेले नाहीत. त्यामुळे मी परत तुम्हाला एकदा सांगतो की हा व्हिडिओ पाहिल्यानंतर ऑनलाईन टीचिंग हा तुम्हाला किती उपयोगात आहे, समजत आहे का नाही, का मला काही त्यात बदल करावा असे काही सजेशन असतील तर तुम्ही मला जरूर कळवावे. फोनच्याद्वारे, व्हॉट्सॲपच्याद्वारे किंवा गुगल क्लासरूमच्याद्वारे आपले सजेशन्स मी स्वागतार्थ आहेत. ठीक आहे. आपण गेल्या व्हिडिओमध्ये ज्या मॅक्रल फिशरीचे काही भाग शिकलो त्याचा मी थोडक्यात उजळणी करतो, रिव्हिजन करतो. इन लास्ट पार्ट, इन फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ व्हिडिओ वी हॅव सीन इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ मॅक्रल फिशरी, then importance of mackerel fishery, contribution of mackerel fish in total marine landing, classification of general genus Rastriliger canagutta. जी मॅक्रल फिशरी रिप्रेझेंट करते कोण जीनस करते? रॅस्ट्रेलिगर जीनस आणि स्पेसिस कॅनागोटा आहे. ह्या जीनस आणि स्पेसिस ही मॅक्रल रिप्रेझेंट करत असते. आणि त्यानंतर आपण पाहिलेलं आहे distinguishing characters of Rastriliger canagota as well as remaining two species, that is Rastriliger bankusoma and Rastriliger fagoni. त्यानंतर आपण पाहिलं जनरल कॅरेक्टर्स, त्यानंतर फूड अँड फीडिंग हॅबिट ऑफ Rastriliger canagota, त्यानंतर सेक्सिबल डायमॉर्फिझम पाहिले, त्यानंतर साईज ॲट फर्स्ट मॅच्युरिटी आणि लास्ट बीट जो पाहिलेला आहे आपण स्पॉनिंग अँड फिकंडिटी. सो ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी आपण गेल्या व्हिडिओमध्ये फर्स्ट व्हिडिओमध्ये पाहिलेल्या आहेत. आता रिमेनिंग पार्ट ऑफ दॅट फिशरी टुडे वी विल सी. अँड जस्ट आय विल गिव व्हॉट वी आर गोईंग टू टीच यू. दॅट इज फर्स्ट बीट इज एज अँड ग्रोथ स्टडी, सेकंड बीट इज अ सेक्स रेशियो, third is the shoaling behavior, then fishery and different crafts and gears which is used for the fishing purpose, and last that is one of the net which is very excellent net for the fishing for pelagic fishery, that is called Ramapani net and their operation of Ramapani net. ह्या सगळ्या बीट आपण पॉईंट्स एकानंतर एक पाहणारच आहोत. तर आपण सुरू करू. ह्या सेकंड पार्ट हा व्हिडिओचा आपला आहे. त्यानंतर मित्रो परत एकदा ही स्लाईड मुद्दाम दाखवते आहे तुम्हाला. द मॅक्रल फिशरी इज रिप्रेझेंटेड बाय जीनस Rastriliger canagota, which is a major fish contribution in total marine landing. The mackerel is having three genus. That is one canagota, mackerel having one genus, that is Rastriliger, and there are three species. One is a Canagota, second is a Branchiosoma, and third is a Fagoni. Out of these three species, already I have told number of times, the Canagota species is contributed 90 to 92% in total mackerel fishery, and only 6 to 8% are contributed by two remaining species, that is a Branchiosoma and a Fagoni. That's why this fishery is known by single genus Rastriliger and species Canagota. And the total contribution of that fishery, once again I am telling, there is a more than a 15% in a productive year. So now this is a अगेन हा मी मुद्दाम हा रिपीट केलेला आहे आपल्याला फिशरीचा पार्ट असल्यामुळे. नंतर नाउ वी विल सी दिस द पार्ट ऑफ एज अँड ग्रोथ स्टडी ऑफ अ मॅकरल फिश. फ्रेंड्स, द स्टडी ऑफ एज अँड ग्रोथ स्टडी is based on length frequency data of sample collected cheaply from their commercial catching centers at periodic intervals of time. Generally, this study is carried out on both coast of India, that is west as well as the east coast of India. Where these commercial catching centers are more, on that catching centers, the different workers worked on these aspects and come to the conclusions. This study carried out throughout the year. It may be 1 year, it may be 2 years, it may be long, 3-4 years. And that study, already I have told, that is depend upon the length frequency data of fish of sample collected, which is chiefly from the commercial catching centers. ज्या कॅचिंग सेंटर्स आहेत वेस्ट कोस्टला आणि ईस्ट कोस्टला, हा वेगवेगळे सायंटिस्ट ज्या फिशचा अभ्यास करतात की त्या ठराविक काळामध्ये ते फिशची ग्रोथ किती झाली आहे, अकॉर्डिंग टू द एज हाऊ मच फिश अटेंड द ग्रोथ. हा अभ्यास करण्याकरता प्रत्येक महिन्याला सॅम्पल कलेक्ट केला जातं. प्रत्येक महिन्याच्या पहिला आठवडा किंवा दुसरा आठवडा, कुठला तरी एक आठवडा ठरवला जातो. त्या आठवड्यामध्ये सॅम्पल कलेक्ट केले जातात. कुठून? तर कमर्शियल कॅचिंग सेंटरमधून, जिथे चीपली कमर्शियल कॅचिंग सेंटर्स आहेत, मुख्यतः कमर्शियल कॅचिंग सेंटर्स आहेत, तिथून हे फिश कलेक्ट केले जातात. आणि त्यानंतर त्याचा हा अभ्यास केला जातो की प्रत्येक महिन्यामध्ये हा फिशनं किती लांबी ग्रोथ अटेंड केलेली आहे. According to the growing age, how much length of fish is attended by the fish, ही स्टडी करण्याकरता प्रत्येक महिन्यातल्या ठराविक आठवड्याला ते विजिट देतात, सॅम्पल कलेक्ट करतात आणि त्याच्या आधारे हा सायंटिस्ट सांगत असतात की ह्या फिशची लेंथ ह्या महिन्यामध्ये इतक्या महिन्यामध्ये एवढी झाली. दिस इज द पर्टिक्युलरली बेसिक्स structure of study of the age and growth studies. So when the different workers worked on this aspect of age and growth, and they found different figures of mackerel fish on different catching centers on west and east coast. What is first I will tell you, those are scientists who contributes much more information regarding this aspect. Firstly, that is Pradhan in 1956, Mackerel in 1958, then George and Banerjee in 1964, and other workers also worked on this aspect and gives their opinion, gives their findings in research papers on, and that is which particular findings I have taken in this syllabus, or you can say in this note. According to the Pradhan in 1956, mackerel attained an average length about 10 centimeter at the end of first year and 18 centimeter at the end of the second year, and more than 18 centimeters, he presumed that the fish is more than 2 years old. So after that, Pradhan again he worked, the Mackerel worked on this aspect on west coast of India particularly, and he found that the mackerel can attain a length 12 to 15 centimeter by the end of first years and 21 to 23 centimeters by the end of second years. So this is a record given by Shekaran. After that, again George and Banerjee, these two workers, these two scientists worked on this aspect, and he in 1964, and he found that is growth of mackerel is deeper than the Pradhan and Shekaran. He, particularly George and Banerjee, he found that the mackerel attain fast length growth, attain fast growth as compared to the as given figure Pradhan and Shekaran. He found that mackerel can attain size 9.5 centimeter only in 2 months, and mackerel grow up to the 21.6 centimeter by the end of first years, and by the end of the second years it may be grow more than 24 to 28 centimeters. So this finding is more as compared to the Pradhan and Shekaran. Actually, this work carried on Cochin. This is a large commercial catching center of mackerel fish. This different growth rate occurs in different to the different scientists. Why it is occurs? Generally, the growth rate is depend upon the availability of the planktons at the larval stage or at the before the juvenile or up to the after hatching the eggs or after the spawning. If the planktons are more in numbers, if the abundant planktons are available inside the water, then the animals grows very fast. If there is a scarcity means दुष्काळ or कमी असणे, उपलब्धता कमी असणे, the scarcity of planktons found, there is an adverse effect on the growth of the fish. That's why different growth rate occurs to the different scientists on different locations. It is only depend upon the availability of the planktons. If the planktons are found in much number, then at the earlier stage of the animals it grows very fast. If the planktons not available, abundant planktons are not available, adverse effect on the growth rate at the earlier stage. Okay, now the next bit, there is a sex ratio. Extensive study work, extensive research work on this sex ratio of mackerel fish, or that is the Rastriliger canauta. When bumper landing takes place or on commercial catching centers, the scientists found that is a sex ratio is equal. Male and female, it may be 1:1. This study carried first time by CMFRI, that is Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute, which having head office is located at Bombay. In first time 2005 to 2005, 2002 to 2005, 2002 ते 2005 मध्ये हा वर्क जेव्हा फाइंडिंग पाहिल्या त्यावेळेस त्याच्या लक्षात आलं की दॅट इज अ रॅस्ट्रिलिगर कॅनोटा विच इज फाउंड और इज अ मेंटेन ए रेशो, सेक्स रेशो 1:1 in total bumper landing or in a marine landings. Now another bit. So already in last scene, that is the last period, that is spawning up. What are the spawning period of the mackerel fish? That is spawning season is related to the monsoon period. Already I have told in previous video or first video. Generally on west coast and east coast you will find a slightly different in the spawning season. That spawning season is totally related with the monsoon period. On west coast the monsoon start earlier as compared to the east coast, and that's why the intensive spawning occurs on the west coast, that is in July to August, and supplementary spawning occurs in the month of November and December. But on east coast there is a slight late or too late in east coast spawning occurs. That is in October to December, the intensive spawning occurs, and in April there is supplementary spawning occurs of the mackerel fish. In Andaman Sea, particularly on the southern part of India, there is some contribution of mackerel fish comes from the Andaman Sea, but is what the spawning period is not given by any scientist. Okay, this is all. Next, shoaling behavior, or that is called the schooling behavior. Schooling or shoaling. Generally, fishes do not live in small group, or one or two are not available. Generally live in groups. The group of fishes is called the shoal, SHOAL, or it is also called the schooling behavior. Shoal means the group of fishes. Group of fishes of same species, of same size, and almost moving in the same speed. That is called the shoaling. Shoaling, once again I am telling you, shoaling is nothing but a group of fishes. A group of fishes, which fishes? Of same species, of same size, and almost moving in the same speed. That group of fishes is called the shoals. So this figure is showing that the group of fishes, a large number of fishes moves or migrate from one place to the another places. Already we have seen in first year migrations. The mackerel fish shows very interesting migrations, and while the migrations, the large number of the fishes, it may be a million or billion people comes together and makes migrations. Now see us. Mackerels generally do not live in small numbers. They move, or they make migration for particular purpose, generally for the breeding purpose, or it may be feeding purpose. But generally they makes a migration for the breeding purpose or spawning purpose. They are not few in number. They are more million or even billion in numbers. And the shape of the mackerel shoals, shape of the shoals of mackerel, it may be crescentic, Ardha Chandrakati, half moon, not half moon, Ardha Chandrakati, or it may be arrow head formations toward the heads. So it is the length of the shoal, it near about 100 meters or to few kilometers, and that speed of mackerel fish, it is moving during the migrations near about 8 to 10 miles per hour. So you can imagine this is a large number of the fishes. When the fish comes together, large number of fishes comes together and makes migrations, it covers the area near about few kilometers, 100 meters to few kilometers. So you can imagine how much numbers occurs in a shoal. That is a large number of fishes are migrated toward the spawning grounds, and it can be identified from long distance by their color combination. So during the daytime, it can be identified the shoal of mackerels. It can be identified by the spotted, that blue spotted occurs on the back. That's why that fish can mackerel shoal of mackerel can identify long distance. And at night time, particularly, the luminescence colors are occurs in water. That is, it emits luminescence. Luminescence have in Marathi there comes about sakaki, shining. It emits the luminescence at night time, and that's why at night time you can easily identify. Particularly, the expert fisherman can identify the shoals of mackerels from long distance. Now, the fisheries. There is a that already I have told in first video also, that is the mackerels. Major mackerel fishery are contributed by the west coast of India. West coast India is a very productive coast as compared to the east coast, and these fisheries, fishing that is done on particularly neritic waters, Neritic means that is near the shore lines where the depth of the water is 10 to 5 meters. In deep water, that fishery is not done. Only where the depth of water is 10 to 5 meters, in that area, that's called the neritic area, neritic zones of water, the fishing is done. The most fishing centers or catching centers at the west coast, there is Ratnagiri, Malwan, Goa, Karwar, Malpe, Tilicheri, Cochin, and Alipe. So these are the commercial catching centers on the west coast of India. So, and some catching center also found in east coast of India. As compared to the west, it is very limited numbers. That is Mandapam, Nagapattinam, Kakinada, Visakhapatnam, some parts of Orissa and West Bengal. Friends, once again I am telling you that is 73% of mackerel fishery comes from west coast of India, and only 10 to 7% fishery comes from the east coast of India. And particularly on west coast of India, that is Kerala, Karnataka, Goa and Maharashtra, it contributes much more. In particularly the Kerala and Karnataka, much more. But in even it, this mackerel is found in appreciable quantity at Goa as well as coast of Bombay. That's why this fishery is very economically important fishery to the west coast of India. Particularly, this fishery is mostly supported by juvenile size, that is the range between 16 to 18 centimeters or below 2 years fish. Below the age of 2 years, and already I have told that about 2 years that fish are become fully mature and ready to spawn. Now this is about the fisheries. Now come to the next bit of that fishery, that is the crafts and gears. Friends, there are different type of crafts which and gears are used for catching or fishing the mackerel fishery. That crafts are known by the different names, by regional language. Same crafts or same gears which is known by different names in different states. Generally, that crafts and gears are known by the local names. So basic crafts which is used on west coast India for fishing mackerel fishery, that is a dugout canoes, canai boat, plank built boat, and catamarans. These are the basic crafts or boats which is used for catching or fishing the mackerel fish. The gears means the nets which is used particularly for the mackerel fishing, boat seine. Second is a beach seine for dragnet. Gill nets also used for catching, but is not large scale. If the comparison between the drip net and cast net, but major important or very commercial fishing net or efficient net which is used for the pelagic fishery, and that net is called the Ramapan or a Ramapani net. That Ramapani net is a very huge net, a big net without a bag, and this net has proved as an excellent net for catching the mackerel fishery. So first, what type of the net mackerel? What type of the operation? We will see in a next bit, that is CS. This is the movable rampant net. In next figure again I will show the operation of rampant. This is the movable rampani net. This net is very huge net, very big net. It consists of rectangular fish. The net is made up of hemp. Hemp means, do you know hemp? Hemp means tag. Marathi मध्ये त्याला tag म्हणतात. But nowadays the net is fabricated or made up of nylon or synthetic materials. And it is already you know that the synthetic material is more durable as compared to the hemp. And that's why nowadays synthetic fiber or nylon is used for the fabrication of the net. This is a very huge net. It consists a number of rectangular fishes. That number of rectangular fishes are joined together and form a small, moderate and big nets. So they according to the consist of rectangular nets. uh, they are called a small net, moderate net and large nets. If net consists 100 to 200 fishes, that is called the when the net consists 100 fishes, that is called the small nets. And moderate net, you will find the 100 to 200 rectangular fishes, and in large net consists more than 500 fishes. All these nets are in rectangular fishes connected to the each other and form a very large big net. You can imagine in next figure here. So this is the big net. It is actually operation of Rampani nets. So first I will again once come to the back. That net having two ropes, that is a head rope and a foot rope. See us. The nets having two ropes. This is called the head rope and this is the foot rope. These are foot rope, this is head rope. The head rope is joints or it is fitted with the float. These are the floats. These are the floats. And foot rope is joints or connect with the sinkers or weights. So foot rope are attached to the head rope, foot rope attached by the sinkers. So the head rope floats and sinkers are very useful to keep the net as a wall in the keep a net vertically as a wall inside the water. So these are the nets, huge net. This is the sinkers, and so now in next video I will tell you. So yes, this is actually operation of the Rampani nets. You can imagine what type of it. Already I have told that the net according to the consist of rectangular piece. This is single. Just I have drawn a figure. Is one single rectangular piece of net. Such type of the rectangular pieces joins together and form a big, huge big net. This is huge big net without a back. So you can imagine what is the length of the nets. There are according to the consist of the rectangular pieces. The net is recognized as a small net, moderate net, and a large net. So this is the if this net is small, it consists 100 pieces. If the net is moderate, it consists 100 to 300 pieces, and if the net is large, that is consists of 500 pieces. So one rectangular net, this is the one rectangular net. You can imagine the size of one rectangular piece is length is 11 meter. Length is 11 meters and width is 7 meter. 7 meter width and length is 11 meters. And the mesh size, what is the mesh size? This is the mesh size. त्यामधली जी जाळी असते त्याला आपण मेश म्हणतो. दॅट इज 30 centimeter at center and 10 centimeters at the end. So at center pieces the mesh size having 30 centimeters is large one, and that gradually decrease the mesh size toward the end part as a 10 millimeters. So this is a how much means 500 pieces are joined together, even more than 500 pieces are rectangular pieces joined together in large net, and one net is 11 meter. 11 meter into 500. So you can imagine how much length of the net is a very big net for this. So it is very so. So this is the floats. This is the and for that operation it require one engine mechanized boat, that is called pandi, and two small or 2 to 3 small boat, that is towing. These are towing boats 1, 2, 3, 4, and one is a pandi boat. It is a mechanized boat or large boats. And There's a 60 to 80 fishermen are required for the operation of such huge nets. This net is used or operated inshore or just say, 25 millimeter depth, 25 meter depth. जिथं पाण्याची डेप्थ 25 मीटर आहे. So one is one unit. In one unit there is a one big net, big pandi boat, 2 to 3 small net, that is called toni net boat, and there is a 60 to 80 fishermen are required for the operation. What type of the operation, how the operations carried out inside the water? See, it's very interesting. Operation of the rampa net is carried out inside the water. Such huge net, such huge net are loaded in the boat, pandi boat, and ready to keep for the spreading operations. Two fishermen, two expert fishermen are rowing a small boat, that is toni boats, and proceed inside the water. Proceed inside the water from the shore lines. And when shoal of fishes, shoal of sighted, when once a shoal are sighted, the signal is given to the fisherman which is present on the shoreline or base of the shoreline. And after that, once a signal is received by the fishermen, the one net of the one rope, one sorry, one end of the rope of the net, one end of the net is handed over to the party, first party of the fishermen, and that net, which is spread into the water semi-circular fashions inside the water, and another end of net of the end and rope of the net is handed over to the another party of the fishermen. The distance between two party of the fishermen is too far away or it is more, so that it covered maximum area of the water. Whatever the fishes comes in that circumstance, they are accumulated, that is particularly collected by the nets. The whole operation is completed within 30 to 40 minutes. So this way, after that spreading the net in semicircular fashions, that two parties of fishermen drew the nets toward the shorelines, and after drawing the nets toward the shorelines, the large number of the fishes are impounded into the nets, and that is a record is given in particularly in the size nets, 21 lakhs net. How much? 21 lakhs mackerels in one net noticed on 1st December 1957 at कारवार. कारवारला 1 डिसेंबर 1957ला एकाच स्ट्रोकमध्ये 21 लाख फिशेस कलेक्ट केल्या त्या नेटने. त्याच्यामुळं ही नेट इज अ व्हेरी युनिट. वन थिंग इज रेनेस, that net is called the Ramapani net. Why it is called the Ramapani net? I forget telling this. Ramapani net. The first time this net is used at Dakshina Canada 100 years back by one Portuguese priest. That name of the Portuguese priest is the Ramapan. After that, the net is named after his name. That is the Ramapani net. That is a very huge net, excellent net, and it is efficient net for catching the pelagic fishery from 100 years back. For that, the number of the nets is continuously increasing for catching the pelagic fishery. म्हणजे 100 वर्षाच्या पूर्वी फक्त 1,02 नेट्स उपलब्ध होत्या. नाऊ डेज there's thousands of Rampani nets are available, and with that net regularly we are catching number of the fishes. Landing takes place much more of fishes. That's why it is a very huge net without bag, Ramapani net. It is excellent for the pelagic fishery. So this is the already says So you can imagine what is the length, what is the how we use this small boat very useful for the operation the nets. ही नेट्स आहे. पहिल्यांदा तुम्हाला परत एकदा मी मराठीत 2 मिनटामध्ये सांगतो. ही नेट एवढी ह्यूज नेट एकदा पहिल्यांदा आपल्या ह्या पांडी बोटमध्ये लोड केलेलं जातं आणि स्मॉल बोट जो तोणी आहे हे पहिल्यांदा विथ 2 फिशरमन्स दे प्रोसीड इनसाइड द वॉटर. पाण्यामध्ये किंवा 1 माईलमध्ये 5, 7, 8, 10 माईल्स असं मध्ये जातात फॉर सर्चिंग द शोल ऑफ द मॅकरल. एकदा मॅकरलचा शोल ग्रुप ऑफ फिश मॅकरल ज्यावेळेस त्यांना फिशरमनला एक्सपर्ट फिशरमनला दिसला की त्यांनी सिग्नल कोणाला देतात, इथल्या फिशरमनला देतात. इमिडिएट ते फिशरमन ते काय करतात, एका नेटचा एंड आहे तो ह्या पार्टीला फिशरमनच्या हातात देतात आणि ही नेट अशा सेमी सर्क्युलर ह्या फॅशननं पाण्यामध्ये स्प्रेड करतात. स्प्रेड करण्यासाठी मदत ह्या 2 टोनी बोट्स मदत करतात. या दोन्ही टोनी बोटवर फिशरमन्स असतात 2-2. यात त्यांना दे हेल्प्स टू पेईंग द नेट्स इन सेमी सर्क्युलर वॉटर इनसाइड द वॉटर. मदत करतात हा नेट स्प्रेड करण्यासाठी. आणि त्याच्यानंतर दुसरा शेवटचा जो नेट आहे तो दुसऱ्या पार्टीला फिशरमन, ह्या 2 फिशरमन पार्टीच्या मध्ये बरंचसं अंतर असतं आणि ज्यावेळेस दोन्ही नेट एकत्र आल्यानंतर या दोन्ही फिशरमन्स ग्रुप ते नेट्स आपल्या बीचकडे ओढत असतात आणि ओढत असताना जेवढे काय ह्या सरकमतास या एरियामध्ये जेवढे काय ग्रुप फिशेस असतील ते सगळे ह्या नेटमध्ये अडकले जातात आणि हे सगळे ते रेकॉर्ड तुम्हाला सांगितले 21 डिसेंबर 2021ला 1957ला 1 डिसेंबर 1957ला ज्यावेळेस हा रेकॉर्ड आहे की जवळपास 21 लाख फिशेस या नेट्समध्ये सापडले होते. सो दिस इज अबाउट द मॅकरल फिशरी. मित्रो, हा आपला बीट इथे संपलेला आहे. आपल्याला याच्या संदर्भामध्ये तुम्हाला काही अडचणी असतील तर तुम्ही मला परत एकदा फोन करून सांगा. हा मी नोट्स तुम्हाला दिलेले आहेत, नोट्स पूर्णतः वाचा. तुम्हाला नोट्स वाचल्यानंतर हा पूर्ण व्हिडिओ तुम्हाला शिकवत असलेला समजेल. नाही समजला तर परत सांगा. तुमच्या नंतरच्या दुसऱ्या अजून इम्पॉर्टंट फिशरी आहेत, साडाण फिशरी आहे, बॉम्बे डक फिशरी आहे आणि प्रॉन फिशरी. हे तिन्ही फिशरी फार मोठमोठ्या फिशरी आहेत. अगेन त्या तिन्ही फिशरी एका पिरियडमध्ये होत नाहीत. त्याच्यामुळे इट रिक्वायर्स 2 पार्ट्स ऑफ आय हॅव पर्पजली मी 2 पार्टमध्ये विषय डिवाईड करतो आहे आणि त्याच्यानंतर धन्यवाद.